Welcome back to another video, my brothers. Today's video is titled 7 Attitude Shifts That Changed My Life. And I've got a bonus one for you at the end as well. So make sure you watch this entire video. Don't be clicking off. I know everybody's attention span nowadays is very short. In fact, it's actually less than a goldfish now for the average human being, which is crazy. So make sure you watch this entire video. I don't care if you're cooking or fucking driving or whatever. Just keep the video on, because I'm going to drop some gems for you today, okay? The first attitude shift was assuming 100% responsibility for my fuck-ups, because for a long time, I was shifting the blame onto other people. Yeah, but if he would have said this, then I wouldn't have done this, and I was looking for somebody to blame. And I never put myself on the blame list. And one thing that you'll realize as a man, as you mature, is that nobody is coming to save you. It's all up to you. If you put yourself into a bad mess, you have to get yourself out of it. Because there ain't nobody coming to save you. Even your own parents, after the second or third time of helping your fucking ass, are going to get sick and tired of you. You're a grown man. Sort your life out, mate. That's what they'll be thinking. And that's what they'll probably say to you as well. But the thing is with parents, especially if they really love you, which I hope is the case for most of you, is they'll still try and help out. I mean, it's very rare to see parents that will just tell their kids, hey, you're on your own now, mate. I'm not helping you anymore. And that's when the reality sinks in for a lot of men. They realize, fuck, mummy and daddy aren't here to save the day anymore. I'm on my own. Okay, so you may be supported in the beginning. They may bail you out from a few payments that you missed. But then eventually, it's all going to fall onto your shoulders. And look, I'm using money as an example here, but it could be anything. If you put yourself into a shit mess, it's because of decisions or lack of decisions that you've made. Maybe there was something you should have done, you just kept fucking ignoring it, and it fucking built up. And now it's come back to bite your ass. Okay? So you have to remember, fellas, that your life will only improve for the better once you acknowledge the mistakes that you've made. It's not always easy to admit that you made a bad decision. And that's why a lot of men are in denial, because they don't want to confront their bad decisions head on. And it's sad to see when a man is in his 40s and 50s and still living this way. I don't want that to be the case for you guys. I want you to be like, you know what, man, I was a dickhead, man. What the fuck was I doing? You know, I look back at my younger self and some of the decisions I made, and, you know, I cringe. But that means that I've learned. That means there's growth right there. If you still think you've done everything right, then the reality is you're probably in denial. You're probably living in a fantasy world. Okay? There's always room for improvement. And there's always things that you could have done better. I don't want you guys to regret the past and live in the past. But I want you to learn from the mistakes you made in the past. Okay? So assume 100% responsibility for the mistakes, for the bad decisions that you've made. Okay? The second attitude shift that changed my life was forcing myself to stick to one thing. Because I tell you what, guys, I used to have shiny object syndrome. Constantly starting and stopping. Trying new things out on a regular basis. And yes, I advocate when you're young, in order to discover your purpose, to try many things out, many different disciplines, and see which one you feel you could do every single day for the next 10, 20 years. And that is subject to change, by the way. You know, it's not a set in stone thing. You could start, I don't know, creating designs for furniture, and that's your passion right now, but in 5 years that could change. So I do definitely encourage you to try things out. However, what I'm referring to here is that I'll begin a task that, you know, may take me a few weeks, a few months, and I will stop within a week, within a few days, and I'll look for something else to do. And even in the early stages of me trying out different disciplines, there were disciplines that I didn't really give enough time. You know, for those of you that ask me, Ali, what business model should I, pursue? And I always encourage you guys to give it at least 6 to 8 months as a time frame. 6 to 8 months of solid work. Buying a course from an expert in that field, which I highly encourage you guys to do. Don't fucking view courses as a scam or anything. Yeah, there are people out there that are dodgy, of course. Exercise a certain level of caution. But invest in your own education. Okay? As a saying, formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Okay? So don't be cheap when it comes to you, because you've got you for the rest of your life. I digress. Essentially, what I want you guys to do is commit to something for 6 to 8 months. In your early 20s at least, late teens, if you haven't yet identified the thing that you want to do, go out there 6 to 8 months, invest a lot of money, time. I don't know who I heard this from once, but somebody said you don't have time and money because you don't invest time and money. You want to get all the prizes, you want to be rich as fuck, but you don't want to do any work. You don't want to put any of your own money. Mate, if you've only got £500 to your name, I mean, you haven't got a lot on the line. Let's just keep it real, man. It's not like, oh my God, but if I lose this 500, then what happens to the kids and the family? Unless you're 18 and you've got kids, in which case the situation's a little bit different. But most of you guys, between the age of 18 to 28, 18 to 30, you don't have kids. Yes, those of you in your later 20s, you may have an apartment of your own. There may be more expenses, or there should be at least. However, look, you need to invest a proper amount of time and some resources to see what could happen. Okay, so the mistake I made was I was constantly shifting, starting something in 2 weeks, stopping it, trying to find something else. I was distracted. I thought that there was an easy way. I was looking for an easy way, but there is no easy way. There are many ways, but there is no easy way. And in fact, there probably is. But as they say, easy come, easy go. It's probably a dodgy get-rich-quick scheme, which may make you a large amount of money in a short space of time, but usually at somebody else's expense. Or, in most cases, something that's illegal, in which case you guys shouldn't go near it. Okay, it's not worth it. Only pursue endeavors that are moral, legal, and ethical. I don't want you guys to program yourself to look for easy things. Confront the difficulty. There's a certain sweetness that you derive from confronting a difficult task and just breaking it down to the molecular level. And then months later, or maybe even a year, 2 years later, you finally fucking got it. That sweetness is absolutely extraordinary. Yeah, now it makes sense. And now you're doing well, you're making money. It doesn't have to happen straight away, man. You don't deserve it straight away. Get rid of this level of entitlement that you've got. No, I deserve to make 6 figures at 18. No, you don't. You're 18 years old. You haven't done shit. You haven't lived enough life. You want to be making 6 figures, and I, definitely applaud you if you have the desire for more. But you don't deserve it just because you want it. You need to earn it. Go prove yourself to the marketplace. Remember, compensation is linked to competence. The better you become, the more money you can demand. Okay? The next attitude shift is saying what I meant. Because for a while, I was afraid of saying something in case somebody else got upset. Now look, I don't want you guys to turn into pieces of shit and just be a nasty human being for no reason. No. But what I don't want you to be as well is a coward. A nice guy who fucking hides how he truly feels and is a people pleaser. Because we all have a part of us that doesn't want conflict and that just wants to preserve peace. That's why a lot of guys are in relationships with women that they don't really like as human beings. And every time they argue, the guy gives up straight away. His tail is between his fucking legs. And he's like, oh, sorry, honey, you're right. Because what he thinks he's doing is preserving peace, but he's not. He's building resentment within himself. And at a certain point, he will snap. And the woman will think, what the fuck? I've never seen this side of you. Why are you shouting? Because he's been holding it in, thinking that it's the best thing to do when it's not. If something displeases you, you speak about it to your woman immediately. Right? You do not hold it in. Okay? So, if there's something that you want to say it. Otherwise, you'll be saying it to the fucking divorce lawyers later on in life. If there's something you want to say to a business partner of yours, but you're afraid it might fuck up the deal, say it. You'd rather get it out the way early, man. Now, I don't want you guys to get into the habit of, over speaking, or gossiping, shall I say, where I just want to express how I feel. No, but if there's something that you really want to say, and you'll know that it's something that you really want to say because it will be difficult to hold in. It will bother you to hold it in. You'll feel a bit uneasy. Especially when it comes to money and relationships. If there's something you really want to get off your chest, say it. Okay, but also pick your battles. So I don't want you guys to just, be that guy who's constantly expressing himself. No, I mean, you don't have to be that guy all the time, man. But if there's something that you really want to say it. Okay? Somebody crosses a boundary with you in the workplace, you stand up right there and then, and you say something. You don't sit down, well, I guess if I say something now, they might call me into the meeting room and tell me off or maybe dismiss me. Because what you don't realize is when you hold it in, you're changing who you are. You're becoming somebody that over time becomes weaker and weaker. And look, there is an element of risk associated with saying what you mean and meaning what you say. Because, hey, for example, in the workplace, if somebody says something extremely disrespectful to you, let's say a manager, and you politely, by the way, I don't encourage you guys to just start swinging, right? But you call that person to the side, your manager, and be like, hey, I don't appreciate that. What you said back there was absolutely disrespectful. And I just want to let you know, you might have gotten away with that with other people, but you won't with me. I found that very offensive. And I expect an apology. A lot of managers are going to just quiver under that pressure because they've never been confronted by another man face to face. They're powerful over emails. Oh, I feel like, but face to face, they've never had somebody confront them before. So you will shock them. I'd mentioned when it happened to me once in a job that I used to have. And that led to me leaving the job, ultimately. And I was willing, even though, I needed the money, I was willing to lose income to preserve my own self-respect because I didn't want to dislike myself. Because that's what happens when you cower away from saying what you truly want to say. You will end up disliking yourself over time. Okay? The next attitude shift was being comfortable introducing myself to strangers / networking. Because for a while I was a bit reserved. But then I also admired how extremely successful people were very effective at building relationships. And that's in turn a result as to why they're very successful. Sometimes it's not about what you know, but who you know. So I admired that. So I started to implement strategies in my own life to get myself out of my comfort zone. I would just compliment random strangers on their shoes or a suit that another man was wearing. I'd be like, damn, that's a nice suit, bro. We'd get into a conversation. I became very good at breaking the ice with people that I've never met before and making them like me as well. Getting them to engage with me and have a conversation. And there was no shady intent because, hey, it's fascinating to know about all kinds of different people, right? And where they're from and what languages they speak. And so it doesn't always come from a place of, oh, I want this to become a monetary relationship or a relationship that's transactional. Nah, sometimes it's just like, oh, fucking hell, man, this guy's interesting, right? And I always believe that you learn things from every person that you speak to, regardless of how young they are, old they are, how financially successful they are. That doesn't matter. You learn something from every person. Sometimes it's not about what to do, it's also about what not to do as well. Some people will teach you what not to do in your life. Okay? So deliberate networking. I was going to networking events, introducing myself. Hi, my name's Ali. Nice to meet you. Getting into a conversation. And I still have thousands of contacts in my phone from people that I've met over the years. It's something I was deliberately doing. I wasn't passive waiting for somebody to come and say, hi, what's your name? No. Because then you look like a school kid at a parent-teacher conference, right? Hi, and you are, Nah, man, you're a grown man. Introduce yourself. Don't put your hands in your pockets and, looking down at the floor. Nah, man. Sit up straight. Shoulders back. Okay? And make yourself look approachable as well. Because some of you guys, hoodie up. I get it. If you're going for a run or something, cool. But some of you guys in your day-to-day life, you got a hoodie on, you got headphones on, you look down, hands in your pocket. You just look fucking dodgy, man. You know what I mean? So look up, look at people, smile. You never know who you're going to bump into. It could be a fantastic business partner. It could be a potential wife at some point in your life, right? You don't know, okay? The next attitude shift is expecting good things to happen, okay? Many of us, in fact, I would say most human beings default to the worst possible outcome. Before they've even taken the first step, they're thinking about, but what if it doesn't work out? What if it fails? What if no one buys my product? What if my friends laugh at me? What if? And it's always a negative fucking scenario. And I hated thinking this way because it made things worse. You attract what you fear. The dominating thoughts of your mind will seek to express themselves in outward physical action. That's what the book Think and Grow Rich says by Napoleon Hill. So what I started doing was expecting good things to happen. You know what? No, good things aren't going to happen. Why? Because I'm working my ass off. I'm a good human being. And you know what? I'm prepared to weather the storm of life. I know it ain't going to be easy. But I know if I keep showing up, if I keep putting in the work, if I keep improving my skill, it will happen. And I also want to ask you a question. What if it happens bigger and better than you could have ever expected? Start exploring that possibility in your mind. Because that will set you aside from the majority of people who think, oh no, it can never be me because, I'm not as charismatic as him, or I'm not as good of a singer as he is. No, start thinking about, you know what? What if it could work out bigger and better than I even ever thought was possible? Okay? The next attitude shift, or lifestyle decision, shall I say, is cutting people out of my life when our core values no longer align. Now look, I understand people have different personalities, different interests. I'm okay with that. Just because you support a different football team to me, I'm not going to cut you off. Just because you like certain movies and I don't, that's not a reason for me to end my connection with you. But then it's when they contradict with your core values, when they start telling you to do things that are uncomfortable for you, that don't sit right with you. When I say uncomfortable, I know friends push each other's boundaries. I don't mean that. What I mean is, let's say you don't drink, you're a Muslim. And then you start hanging around people that are like, oh, fucking drink, man. Just drink, bro. Fuck this whole religion shit. Drink. At that point, you've got to make a decision. These people do not respect the fact that you have a faith that you want to follow. And it doesn't sit right with you, which is why you feel uncomfortable. You've got to stop hanging around with these people. Or people that, for example, you tell your goals to. You're excited about pursuing something and they always find a way to joke about it. Or they'll mention somebody who once did something like this and it didn't work out. Those fuckers. Cut those bastards out of your life. You don't need them. You must be willing to go through temporary periods of isolation as a man. I don't want you guys to seclude yourself deliberately from people for months or years on end. No. But there will come a point where you will end certain friendships with people. And yeah, it will suck being by yourself for a while and having to do things by yourself. But over time, you'll actually come to appreciate doing things by yourself, going to places by yourself. And you'll realize, you know what, I don't actually need people all the time. Now, I do believe human beings are social creatures, and I do believe that it's important for you to meet other human beings, have a good time, laugh. You know, I don't believe in this whole, I'm a lone wolf, Sigma male, you know, I don't need nobody. Yeah, you do. Okay? Because being alone for 10, 20 years is not healthy. Life is tough, and sometimes you're just going to need somebody to talk to, man. And a good friend will help you out in a time of need. They will. It's up to you to vet those people, though. Before you allow them in your inner circle, you've got to make sure that these people align with your core values. Okay? And you'll see over time through interacting with them and what kind of people they are. Okay? So look, don't be afraid of cutting people off. And this applies to friendships, relationships. If it doesn't sit well with you, man, you just got to make a decision, bro. As a man, we have to be able to make a decision at times that is not comfortable. For our own progress, for our own sake. Alright? The next point is letting go of perfectionism. Gentlemen, perfectionism is a form of procrastination. You try and make it out to be a legit reason as to why you haven't started yet. Oh, I just need to make sure everything is in order and, you know, all my cards are laid out and then I can... Bullshit. You're just fucking scared. You're scared of losing. For the majority of people, that's just the truth. You're scared of losing. You're scared of being seen starting at the bottom. You're scared of using your iPhone 10 to record videos because you want to have the latest technology. Motherfucker, you just got to get onto the pitch. You got to play the game. Convincing yourself that you're a perfectionist isn't doing you any good. It's holding you back. You know, Tony Robbins says it's not about your resources, it's about your resourcefulness. Do what you can with what you've got. And over time, as you start progressing, as the business starts to flourish, then you can consider, okay, let's improve this, let's improve that. But start where you are, man, with what you got. All right, and finally, bonus point, speaking highly of myself. I am the fucking real deal. I stopped joking about myself in a derogatory manner. Self-deprecating jokes. Because self-deprecating jokes come from a place of insecurity. You don't like yourself. And you want to cope by laughing at yourself. You know, and I truly believe in the saying, and I heard this from a very successful businessman many years ago, when you feel good, you do good. When you feel good, you do good. You've just got that mojo about you. You walk different, you talk different. People gravitate towards you. But if you're like, oh, I'm a piece of shit, nobody likes me, I'm always broken, you repel opportunities away from you. Whether that's finance, whether that's relationship-wise. You push people away when you're a negative bastard. You can get that job offer that you think you can't. You can. You know, there are people that are afraid of jumping from making 20k to 30k because they don't think they deserve it. It's just 10k. You know, there's a lot of people that are seriously underpaid for how good they are, that don't realize the skill that they possess. You know? Encourage yourself. Say positive things about yourself. I don't want you to lie to yourself and be like, oh no, you know, you're perfect the way you are. No, because you're not. You could always get better. But motherfucker, if you're good at something, say that you are. And in the beginning, it's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable because you're like, am I? Am I though? But I want you to try it. I want you to just encourage yourself every single day. See how you feel. See how things just start happening in your favor. Deals start coming through. You know, there's a saying, a man that has confidence in himself gains the confidence of others. For example, if you're in business, you're trying to get a deal over the line, somebody that's like, yeah, I'm the real deal, I'll get the results for you. Let's sign the paperwork. MasterCard, Visa, what do you want to pay with? You know, that kind of attitude gets you a lot further than, well, I think we can. Shall I email you? Like, that unsure energy is going to push people away. They're going to have second doubts, second thoughts. Okay? With that being said, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're new here, subscribe down below, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace, gentlemen.